Hi guys, this is Raythe of Raythe, and here we are doing the Ask Me Anything number 3. This time I thought I would answer some of the personal questions you guys have asked, so here we go. Someone wants to know if Raythe is my full-time job, and the answer is that it is a full-time job, but I have another one as well. The reason for that is multifold, which I'll get into later regarding another question that this person asked. Okay, so question number 2 is, do you have a job separate from writing? If so, how do you make time to write so often? I'm actually an attorney and I work a boring job during the day, but writing is my passion, so I don't make time for it as much as I just do it. I have to do it. If I don't write every day, I feel really weird. But you can imagine I pretty much do work 16 to 18 hour days at times, and it can go as many as 7 days a week. So basically, if Raythe wasn't a passion, I would definitely be burning out for sure. If it is your full-time job, how long did it take you to build your income from your story writing so that you could quit your 9 to 5? Theoretically, my answer is I do make enough to quit, but I have employees and the boss must eat last. So the thing is, I have to pay everyone else before I pay myself, and I have to give raises before I give myself anything. And there are risks that we want to take in the future, doing like the webisodes that I've mentioned, and we want to do games, and we maybe want to do anime and all this kind of stuff. So, the truth is right now it's better to have the day job to cover the mortgage while we use all the Raythe monies to pour into our projects. But truthfully, the goal is to get me off of working anything else, because we're coming to the point where we simply don't have enough time to do the things we want to do because I'm working another job, and that's stopping Raythe from growing in the way it should. So maybe I'll have some exciting news about me quitting at some point. I'm hoping so, and being full-time with Raythe. Okay, so next question is, how long were you writing seriously before starting the site? Well, I never think I'm very serious, to be honest with you, but honestly, I've been writing stories since I could write, and even before then, I was telling stories. To me, it's always been serious, as it feels like it's the most important thing I can do. It feels as if this was the thing I was meant to do. If I have a gift, telling stories is really what it is. But in terms of writing for money, it was when I began the site. I'd never written for money beforehand. A person asked the big one, which is, I would like to know what first got you interested in male romance. This is a really complicated question that I've tried to answer in so many blog posts, and I honestly don't have the answer to it. What I can tell you is that I have literally been interested since I was 12 years old when I wrote the Erl-King, which has father and son incest, if you guys don't know. And I was writing it then as just this thing I could not get out of my head. I think it's always been fascinating to me to watch how, men interrelate, and the thought of them basically being able to express emotions, and not to mention also not having to play into that male-female paradigm that we so often see in stories. That's just taken out when you write MM. So the next question I've gotten here is sort of an interesting one. This person says they're from Germany, and they sometimes see me use expressions that are familiar to them and not as common in America. So they were wondering if I had German ancestors. Actually, I do. My family is German on my father's side, so that might account for why I have those expressions in my vocabulary. And for those who don't know, I live outside of Chicago, and that has a very big German community. So that is probably the answer there. The next question is pretty cool. Is your ideal man, if you have one, reflected in your male characters? Now, if anyone was really reading carefully, they probably will guess this. I am in love with Ulrich. He is such a good person. He's a paladin, like I really want to be. I mean, he is truly good and brave and kind and noble and strong. And at the same time, he is beautiful and passionate, romantic, and a bit angsty. So he's really in touch with himself. But at the same time, he is such a strong person. And one of the big, I guess, enemies in the whole thing is called the Unnamed One, for those of you who are very familiar. But for those of you who aren't, this is like a demon from the outer dark. And he admires Ulrich for those same things, because I think Ulrich really represents that paladin. So another question is, what inspired you to start all of your stories? I am assuming you mean just in general to tell stories, because each story has a different genesis. So I couldn't go through all 30 of them, or I'd really bore you guys. But honestly, since I could talk, according to my mom, I was telling stories. Like I said before, it's something I was just made to do. The next question is, did you get a degree in creative writing, or did you decide to just go for writing? No, I got a law degree, though some might consider that involves a lot of creative writing, and that's actually true. I did go to some writing courses after I actually finished my law degree, during like an extensions at local colleges and high schools, and I learned a ton from the teachers there. Another person writes, do you read LGBTQ, fantasy, superhero, sci-fi webcomics yourself? And if I do, what are my favorite ones? The truth is I don't. I used to read a ton of yaoi manga, but I got frustrated with what I found as the lack of story. I love sex. That's going to be something. Okay, I am all for seeing two hot men getting it on, but what I was seeing was a lot of non-con and a lot of like not accepting that they desired the other person. And while there's definitely some hotness to that, it got to be sort of one note and it just didn't appeal to me. I do love comic book movies. I'm a Marvel Universe girl. The DC, I feel, has fallen down. I know, don't hate me. But I'm really not so much of a comic fan or a webcomic fan. But of course, I'm always interested if you guys have any suggestions. Please, though, do not send us links to sites where they've illegally uploaded manga, which always makes me so sad because the creators of that don't get any of the value. But if you have some places where you say, oh, this is a great one, let me know. What are some of the favorite authors you read? I'll put down a big list, but I actually have some interesting ones. I'll have you know, I do not read gay romance. And there's nothing because I have any against any gay romance people, but there's a lot of contemporary gay romance that doesn't interest me and very little of the paranormal stuff that I like in particular. And I think because I have such my own vision of what I enjoy, it's hard for me to actually read that stuff. But just a few that you might like: Richard K. Morgan's Altered Carbon series, which is science fiction; Caleb Carr, the Alienist series, which is mystery; Alona Andrews, the Innkeeper series, which is urban fantasy; Alexandra Sokoloff, the Huntress series, which is paranormal mystery; David Wong, John Dies at the End, which is cosmic horror, and it's fantastic. Dean Koontz, Fear Nothing series. He didn't finish it, but it's so good. Stephen King, my favorites of his are It and Salem's Lot. I really feel like he is such a good writer, and Kat's giving me a naughty look, but I really do like him. And of course, H.P. Lovecraft, everything, though he has a lot of problematic stuff. And then Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes. I just absolutely love that. There's also an author called Lindsay Fay who does Sherlock Holmes books, which I think are truly like she is the successor to Arthur Conan Doyle, but I think she does the relationship between the two of them far better. And this will be the final question. What TV shows do you like? Okay, I had a writing teacher who told us, write out the television shows you like, the movies you like, and the books you like. So we did all that. And he said, that is what you should write because that is what interests you. So some of this stuff, though, will be familiar and some of it won't be. Like a lot of it's science fiction for me and mystery and stuff right now. But I love some paranormal stuff and I always am looking for more. But one of the ones that it's a guilty pleasure is called The Last Ship. Anything about plagues is cool, my friends. The New Lost in Space. Oh, it's really good, though the kid drives me crazy. But I think he's supposed to. The Expanse, which is an incredible science fiction series based on a book. Altered Carbon again, and The Alienist. So that's it for this week, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And we have so many more questions to go through. I can't believe it. I had no idea that you guys were going to ask so many awesome questions. Please, if you have any more, leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks. Bye.